Good afternoon. It is Friday, July 26, 2013. This is Jalen Blader speaking. Here's what's happening. Training camp starts today for the Jets. They have reported, so now they prepare for the 2013 campaign, which many perceive is not going to be a good one. So that's that. Anyway, today I would like to discuss the Jets and publicity. Now, for the last couple of years, the Jets have been portrayed in a negative light. It seems like this whole publicity thing is aimed principally to get the Giants off the back pages. Because we all know, let's face it, we all know the Giants rule this town when it comes to success, when it comes to, success, positive, first class, everything else. Basically, the Jets could learn quite the lesson from their big brother that they share a stadium with. Okay? Now, ever since, let me think about this one. The 90s, the mid-90s, they were a laughingstock under Kotite. They improved under Parcells, came back to respectability then, and it carried through the 2000s for most of them. But then, if you flash back, let's go to 2008. Okay? Now, they decided to throw Chad Pennington to the Wolves after all the good years Pennington did for us, but we all know his rotator cuff issues became, all too much. But then they decide to throw Chad Pennington to the Wolves for a certain quarterback whose name has not come out of these lips in years. So all I remember is that, the predecessor to Mark Sanchez, he wore number 4. That's, all I know. But, it's becoming to a point now, more than ever, after that disaster happened, and we all know how that ended. 2009, we hired Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan, who had a lot of defensive success, coaching the Baltimore Ravens on the defensive side of the ball, coaching some of the best. Now, Rex Ryan, from the moment he got here, he was flapping his gums, saying all this stuff. And, because you know how the New York media is. He's saying, he's not here to kiss, Bill Belichick's rings. He was guaranteeing Super Bowls. He's been saying all this stuff, mocking other teams, as their opponents up and come, saying things like if he were coaching the Chargers, he would have won 2 Super Bowls, putting black curtains over the Giants' Super Bowl trophies at the Meadowlands, and all this other stuff. Now, I understand it's New York media and they hold you to everything and they're most relentless in everything else, okay? But it's gotten to a point where it's just gotten ridiculous. The Jets have been portrayed in this negative light, for the last few years, and quite frankly, it's gotten annoying. Like, really, really annoying. Now, if you look at things, I mean, first of all, I think it starts with Woody Johnson, okay? It was his idea to go get in 2008. Once again, this move was to take the Giants off the back pages because they had just won the Super Bowl the year before. They did it again, obviously last year, as we all know, they decided after the Giants won another Super Bowl, to go get a certain Tim Tebow. And that was obviously, as we all figured out, Tim Tebow was on the Jets for, one reason. To sell tickets, PSLs notably, jersey sales, merchandise, and to make the back pages. Okay? And obviously, Tim Tebow, with the media who kisses his rear end, with his band of followers who know absolute butt kiss about football, just saying, we just want to see him play. He deserves to play. He deserves a fair shot. And now, more than ever, because, the Jets decided to, part ways from him and never really put him in the game except to punt protect, more than ever, everybody hates the Jets. Okay, we get it. We get it, you Tebow morons. We didn't let him play. And you know what? I'm glad we didn't let him play. Okay? There's obviously, they see the stuff we don't do. And Tim Tebow sucked. He didn't earn a spot to play. He didn't earn it. It's the sensationalism just because of his religious beliefs, as if no other football player is religious. So, obviously, but knowing the Jets, you knew they were going to do something stupid like sign Tim Tebow. Anyway. So, more than ever, and then there's Mark Sanchez, the same quarterback who, got us, we had a really good squad this first 2 years, and he was part of it. He got to the AFC Championship games. He participated. He played well. You know, but once again, they've thrown him to the wolves. He stunk last year. I'm not gonna lie. He was awful last year. Besides the fact that he didn't have any weapons to throw to because management decided to get rid of them. He didn't, the offensive line, the once great offensive line, I don't know what happened. Every time he goes back to pass, it's like run and hide. They don't let him scramble anymore. It's like run and hide. Like, the other team would just come blitzing, blowing by the right tackle, and boom, Sanchez is down. So I mean, it was a disaster last year. It was a three-ring circus because at every little point it was a big spectacle whenever Tebow came in the game, whenever he stepped on the field. And, now the Jets have Tebow in the game. And, and this is after, and he always came in after Sanchez would get on a rhythm. And he was put in at the most inopportune of times. And it just messed things up. And the offense didn't know what to do anytime Tebow stepped on the field. And then he'd come in and do the same 2-yard run up the middle. Now, I've never felt such controversy just because the Jets wouldn't play one player. Really. But again, he was here for other purposes, Anyway, and now he's gone. Thank God. And now once, all off season, the media has tried to portray Mark Sanchez in a negative light. Okay? Whether it was, okay, before the offseason thing, he was bad, but then, of course, his most defining moment now is the fact, the whole butt fumble thing. And they continue, this happened Thanksgiving night, and they continue to beat that issue, with Sanchez. Butt fumble! It's like, give me a break. It's not funny anymore. Sure, it was funny, for the first couple, week or so, and it was one of the worst plays ever in football. But I mean, it's just, seriously. So, they have mistreated him, and unfortunately with the contract extension, obviously everyone's begging for his release, and it's just, it's gotten ridiculous. Whether it was, posing, what was it, showing his bare rear end there with two women and something like that. That's the New York tabloids trying to, make him in a bad light. The little headband he's wearing, and that is like, oh, what the heck is that? You got the Jets West thing, especially because his competition known as Geno Smith didn't report and everything else. And I know I made a rant about that, but everyone, everything's going to be focused as the Jets begin training camp on Sanchez and Smith. So, and everyone's begging, a lot of people are begging for Geno to start. But now, this negative publicity with the Jets and all this other circus stuff that they've done the last couple of years has also turned off a fan base. Yes, you've got loyal Jet fans like myself. You've got fans that have said, I can't stand this team anymore. I will go to another team and root for them. It's really portrayed them in that much of a negative light where fans just don't want to watch them anymore. And we're supposed to be one of the most loyal fan bases in the NFL. Never satisfied, but still we're supposed to be a real loyal fan base. And I'm happy I get to experience that firsthand. But it's just been an embarrassment to be a fan. It's been really embarrassing. You also have the fact that, Woody Johnson, for all his brilliance, was more than happy to share a practice facility with the Giants. And now, he's doing all this crap to take the Giants, the more deserving team, off the back pages. And you notice the only thing I've heard about the Giants all summer long was the whole spectacle, the whole thing with Victor Cruz, who eventually came back. I mean, and another thing, another thing that hurts is that, they got pulled off entirely off Long Island. Now, I know the New York metropolitan area is a huge metropolitan area. But I mean, the Jets spent all those years on Long Island practicing at Hofstra. It was one thing when they got pulled out of Shea Stadium, and then in 1984 moved over to Giants Stadium. And, now, they practice in Florham Park, New Jersey, and hold training camp 4 hours away from Long Island in Cortland. Like, what? You expect fans from Long Island in New Jersey and the state to travel up to Cortland to see these guys practice? Cortland? Smack in the middle of the entirety of New York State? So, really, Shows how much Woody Johnson cares about the fans. He doesn't care. He just wants his payday, and that's it. He just wants to fatten up the wallet, by make these big signings so they can get merchandise and everything else. So, but then, like I said, Woody, Rex, it was a big spectacle. And I'm not going to take away from Rex. I like Rex, but some of the things he's done, seriously, have just made the Jets look bad. Now, so I mean, after all that, more than ever, it's been embarrassing. We used to be a humble team, and now we're just like everybody's whipping post to laugh at. I'm sure Giants fans love it. Patriots fans love it. They love the fact that the Jets get made fun of all the time. Like I said, the Jets don't care about their players. I mean, our quarterback who's done us so many good things, and he was part of a Jets team that was so much fun to root for again, and all of a sudden, it's depressing. It's really depressing. So I mean, look. I mean, you've got the owner who doesn't know a thing about football. He doesn't, remember last year in the election? I'd rather see Romney win the election than a Jets successful team. I mean, you don't say something like that. I don't care who you support. Okay? But, again, it's ridiculous. You also have, it's sad. I mean, we don't want to pay a good product to go and see that. We don't want that. We want to spend a good 3 hours out of, we want to invest 3 hours into our Sundays to see a winning product, not a crappy product. And it's just, we want to be, it's time to be a football team again and not a circus. Stop going after these big names. Stop screwing your personnel. Stop getting rid of your longtime veterans. Okay? And the best players, that are really no longer there anymore. Namely, arguably the best cornerback in football. Because the owner was being a glutton that didn't want to pay. Granted, I'm not going to take away the fact, but that Revis was being a big baby about how much he's being paid, as if football players don't get paid enough. But anyway, so like I said, this negative publicity has just made it embarrassing, all the more even worse embarrassing to be a Jet fan. It's just gotten, people don't want to go to MetLife Stadium anymore to see this. We want to be seen as positive, not negative. No matter what is done, and the New York media just loves to find ways to, portray the Jets in a negative light. It's a relentless media in here in this town, and it's just, and I mean the coach has done, and there's other things the coach has done. The wife with the tattoo with number 6 on it, the whole foot fetish thing, the video with his wife. I mean, these guys love to invade in these guys' private lives. I mean, really, it's ridiculous, But again, it just makes you sick and tired. It just really does. Anyway, I've been bantering on almost 13 and a half minutes. So with that said, this is your Island Blader speaking. It's crazy to believe that July's about to end and preseason starts in a few weeks. Wow, crazy to believe. Anyway, deuces for now.